We'll go ahead and start tonight's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome everyone to tonight's regular City Commission meeting dated May 27th, 2025. Roll call.
Benson?
Here.
Birch?
Here.
Brunick? Sarda?
Here.
Conkling?
Here.
Hanoff?
Here.
Mosier?
Here.
Spencer?
Here.
Mayor Villanueva?
Here.
City Manager Leon?
Here.
City Attorney Denherter?
Here.
Okay, item number 2 under routine business. Before you have the minutes of the regular meeting of May 12th, 2025. What is your pleasure?
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, I have a first and a second. Any discussion? Anyone from the public? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, passes. Okay, next, schedule of bills. Before you have the schedule of bills, what is your pleasure?
I looked the schedule over. I'll move to pay the bills.
Okay, I have a first and a second. Any discussion? Any public input? Roll call.
Spencer?
Aye.
Benson?
Aye.
Birch?
Aye.
Sarda?
Aye.
Conkling?
Aye.
Hanoff?
Aye.
Mosier?
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva?
Aye. Okay, bills will be paid. City Manager Leon, your report, please.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of the commission and public. Just a couple things here to visit with you about for Commissioners Mosier, Conkling, and Spencer. Tomorrow we have our special events meeting. We're going to meet at noon in City Hall. We have some materials for you and some things to ask of you, but I'm expecting that probably won't be a long committee meeting, but let the Planning Commission and you move through the comp plan process first, and then we'll move into the strategic planning process. But when I have a draft of the strategic plan, I'll farm that out to all you all so you can take a look at it and make sure that what is reflected there is in the spirit of what we talked about during our work over those 2 days. Also, as a reminder, June 16th, we are going to tackle the outside agency requests, the BBB, Bed, Board, and Booze, the CIP's capital improvement plan, and also have some financing questions for you as a commission to work through there. But he wanted me to let you and the public know that we are going to plan to open the Youth or Family Aquatic Center tomorrow. It's going to be a cool day for swimming, but the water walkers are ready, and so we're going to give it a go. Hopefully the cool weather will give us some time to gear up as a staff to get ready to go for some hot weather this weekend. Also, I am working, Nancy, I'm trying to send you those pictures, but I'm having some trouble, so if I don't get them to you here during the meeting, I'll get them shortly after. Nothing further, Mayor, unless you have questions for me.
I don't. I just want to ask, though, is it typical that the city manager is the first one in the pool, first day of opening?
It is when it's hot out, but it won't be tomorrow.
Fair enough, fair enough. Commissioners, do you have anything for City Manager Leon? Okay, seeing no mics. Next, I'm excited. This is my first proclamation that I've done as mayor. So this is going to be for the wellness conference is what this is regarding. And it's the 27th annual YAMWI conference, June 4th through 25th. Again, 27th annuals. This is really fantastic. So here we go. Proclamation by the City of Yankton. Whereas Yankton Area Mental Wellness, Inc. will host the 27th Annual Area Mental Wellness Conference at Yankton High School on June 4th and 5th, 2025. And whereas the overall mission is caring for self, caring for community, and the 2025 conference theme is resiliency and renewal, wellness in a changing world. And whereas the commitment to training and networking is evident in Yankton, a community that is extremely concerned about serving those in need strives to educate students for future employment in healthcare and mental health. and represents a region rich in resources and professional expertise to educate others. And whereas Yankton Area Mental Wellness, Inc. and professionals from Yankton, from South Dakota, from the Midwest and beyond, have joined forces to present a variety of sessions to educate conference participants with current information, available resources, a network of support, regional expertise, and professional credit. Now therefore I, Michael Villanueva, Mayor of Yankton, do hereby proclaim June 5th and 6th, 2025 as Yankton Area Mental Wellness Conference Days in Yankton, South Dakota, and call upon the residents of this great city to join me in supporting mental wellness awareness. Good job. And Dr. Stanage, if you'd like to say a few words.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I just want to say that the Yankton Area Mental Wellness Conference represents 27 years of collaboration between just about every human service providing agency in Yankton. And with me are representatives of the Human Services Center, Mount Marty College, but we have just about every human service agency is represented. So it's been a great thing for the community for the last 27 years. And I think it'll be here long before I'm gone. So thank you.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you very much.
Can I ask him a question quick? I wasn't going to let you off the hook that quick, Dr. Stanage. I'm going to take advantage of this. I know we're talking mental health and very important. Just a quick update, if you would, for the City Commission and the folks listening in on the just tiny expansion that is going on out on the highway going out of town. I'm very excited about that. And then a chance for you to also promote, I believe I've been seeing all over Facebook, a big opening house.
So it is a large expansion for us, but most people don't understand that we occupy about 52,000 square feet of space in the community now between the Benedictine Center, 1028 Walnut, the Yellow House, which is our administration building. So it's just going to be wonderful to have everything under one roof. And then particularly important is our crisis care, the expansion of crisis care, that we're going to double the beds that we have. I think law enforcement's pretty happy with the availability of having immediate access to crisis care for behavioral health crises. So that's probably the biggest change that the community is going to see with that. Grand opening July 16th, you're all invited. So please plan on attending. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stanage. Okay, next on the agenda, public appearances. And I'm going to read this since it's my first full meeting. So public appearances is a time for persons to address a city commission on items not listed on the agenda. No action may be taken on a matter raised under this item of the agenda until the matter itself has been specifically included on an agenda as an item upon which action will be taken. Each person has up to 3 minutes to speak. Comments made during the public appearance comment period of the agenda may be on any subject. There shall be no personal attacks against the mayor, members of the city commission, city staff, or any other individual. So please come up, please state your name and let us know what you have.
Hi, my name is Gerald Koster. This is Dan Conklin. We're part of a group of people that are responsible for putting the flags out at Memorial Park 4 or 5 times a year, weather permitting. We had a heck of a deal today, but we got them in. They're dry. But we have people from the VFW, the American Legion, the Boy Scouts, and I wish there was more Boy Scouts. What a great bunch. And a great group of unselfish people that come. Today, at 2:30, we called and we said, hey, we think they're dry. I think we can get them in. At 3 o'clock, we had 25 people there, including the Boy Scouts. So anyway, we would like to expand the program, and Dan has all the information on the sheets that he passed out, and I'll let Dan take it from there.
I'm Dan Conklin. I guess I volunteered to take over the flag duty at Memorial Park, and pretty happy to have done it. The sheet I gave you outlines, if you see in the red, is where we already have areas for the poles and the flags. And then in the black going on top on the east side, if you look, there, I did talk to Les Kirshner, and there are stations there, but they're all covered up right now. So he said he'd work on that. And then personally, I'd really like to see where the green is on the bottom. I'd like to have those flags go all down Douglas, across Memorial Park there, if it's at all possible. It's a pretty spendy project. You got the paper in front of you. Is there any questions or anything I can answer for you?
You have a timeline in mind when you want to get this?
We were thinking next year's the 250th, and it'd be nice, you know. But
I'd like to get it done before Dan says ready for our 250th.
Preferably
And
this summer. So
Commissioners, remember to turn your mic on, please.
Oh, sorry. So better for this summer than later, so you can get everything ready for next year. Okay, thanks. Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay, and any questions?
Yeah, so as a parent of a couple of scouts that went through, I put a lot of flags up too and
yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, and really appreciate the help that we
Yeah,
get
I know, it was
from
always a
them.
good time. It was a very good event.
Yeah.
So are you still looking to run flags in the center of the park? Or are you
Yes.
looking to consolidate
Well-
up to the point and then along Douglas, or?
We were looking at that, you know, but the main thing is the avenue of flags. That's the main thing. But we do have post holes going on in the center of the park there. But
Yeah, and at one time we had flags for all those, but I don't know if they
right,
deteriorated
right.
or.
And then when they remodeled it, they all got Les has done a good job. He uncovered everything going to the south side, but he hasn't gotten that north side done yet. So.
But the main reason we're here, now that you see everything and the cost of everything, we're begging for funds. And we know that you're coming up in June to set things for next year, and we were hoping to be able to tap into some of that bed and booze tax money. So if you would consider that, we know you can't take any action on it today, but give it some thought, and we'll be back next meeting if you would like to answer any more questions.
Sure. Okay. Well, we appreciate that. And I do want to say, from the bottom of my heart, I was able to attend and be part of the Memorial Day service. And I just want to say that I think that it's absolutely just so beautiful seeing all those flags along that sidewalk.
We do get a lot of nice comments on it, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing that. And thank you so much for coordinating that and getting the volunteers to help with that. It's a really great thing to remember all those that have paid the ultimate price for our freedom. So thank you.
Amen. Amen.
Would this be something we need to, or could add to the request for June?
We could add it to the request for June.
For our meeting, I guess, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking what I would do, I'm thinking I was going to ask if Les has a way of contacting you. He knows how to get a hold of you. Les Kirchner has your number?
I don't know if Les has my number. but-
Okay. Okay. We'll get in touch with you. Probably what the commission would need to do is actually, if they're looking to have this up for, Memorial Day next year, we'd need to make accommodations if you were to budget for it in this year's budget. So we'd have to do something probably, at a upcoming meeting, and like to talk with the Park Shop too. I didn't see labor here, and I don't know if our guys can do that in the areas where we don't have stations or not, so I'd like to talk to them about that as well, but can certainly put it on an upcoming agenda to visit about. Okay, now I have your numbers too. Okay, so if that's all right with the commission, that's what I was thinking I would do, is visit with the park staff, get in touch with these gentlemen, and then bring something back to you folks.
I think that sounds fantastic. Commission? Okay, perfect. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Okay, next under the agenda, we're going to go to consent items. And the first under consent items is the bid award and establish public hearing for the off-sale liquor license. and it's consideration of memorandum number 25-102, recommending that the city commission award the package off-sale liquor license bid in the amount of $30,000 to Casey's Retail Company, 2300 Broadway Ave, Yankton, South Dakota, and establish a public hearing on Monday, June 9th, 2025, for the uniform alcoholic beverage license application. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, next, under item 3 of old business, first is going to be a public hearing for the sale of alcoholic beverages. Consideration of memorandum number 25-101 regarding an application from Cedar Street Brews, Inc., doing business as The Bar, for reissuance of the retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota wine license for the 2025-2026 licensing period. What's your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any commission discussion? Anyone from the public? Okay, seeing none, roll call.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mosier.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Next, under new business, sidewalk cafe permit application. Consideration of memorandum number 25-100, recommending the city commission grant a sidewalk cafe permit to 301 East 3rd Street, The Boathouse. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any commission discussion? Anyone from the public? Okay, roll call.
Birch.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mosier.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Next, the Gale Drive and Sanitary Trunk Sewer Project. The consideration of memorandum number 25-110, recommending the city commission accept the completed Gale Drive and Sanitary Trunk Sewer Project and authorize the finance officer to issue a manual check to Siteworks, Inc. in the amount of $161,013.10. Commissioner, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any commission discussion? Anyone from the public? Seeing no movement, roll call.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mosier.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Item number 3 under new business, temporary easement agreement for SD-DOT Highway 50 Bridge Berm Repair. Consideration of memorandum number 25-104, recommending the city commission approve the temporary easement agreement for the requested temporary easements and authorize the city manager to sign the reference South Dakota Department of Transportation document, temporary easement agreement. Adam, what's your pleasure, commission?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Adam, would you mind coming up and just explaining this a bit, please? Sorry about that, Adam.
Missing the mic. Yes, so this is a South Dakota Department of Transportation project, the bridge on East 4th Street. It suffered some washing and erosion through the recent high waters, in 2019 and since then. And this is just a repair project to get the slopes and the berms against the bridge, under the bridge, all back into shape. There's some old bridge piling that need cut off and whatnot. So it's a repair project for underneath the bridge.
Okay, thank you. Commission, any questions at all? Okay, so I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion, commission? Anyone from the public? Okay, seeing no movement. Roll call.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mosier.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, number 4 under new business, the 2025 assessment roll and nuisance abatement. Consideration of memorandum number 25-105, recommending the Board of Commissioners set June 9th, 2025 as a date for a public hearing for the special assessment roll. And I believe this is an introduction, am I correct? Okay, do we have an introduction?
Introduce.
Okay, it's introduced. Okay, item number 5 under new business. The mayor's appointment of city commissioners to city advisory boards and commissions. Consideration of memorandum number 25-106, recommending approval of the mayor's appointments of city commissioners to various city advisory boards and commissions. Do I have what's your pleasure, Commission?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second on the floor. I'll speak first. One of the things I want to talk about was there was some questions for me as about how I came about assigning these, and there was, and thank you, Commissioner Conkling, for pointing out my mistake. That's one of the things that I will always do is own my mistakes if I make them, and I did. And so, Commissioner Spencer, I gave you 5, there's over there. Commissioner Spencer, I gave you 5 appointments, and that was my mistake. With the 2 Daves and 2 Brians, I think it's fair that can happen sometimes. And so we're going to reallocate some of that a bit. But before I do that, one of the things I want to chat about, or I wanted to ask specifically about is, I want to have the discussion, because I think it does, I want to be absolutely transparent. If we do have commissioners that work for the county, and then can they be on county boards? And this is a question for you, Ross. But talk to us about what that looks like, and if there's any conflict of interest, or I want to make sure there's no, that there's no, in no way seems like there is a conflict if there is one.
I would say the one that I see would be, for instance, the planning and zoning and Commissioner Conkling. And I think he and I have spoken about that the overlapping jurisdiction. I would not feel comfortable with him in that role. I'm not sure there's any other situation where it creates a true legal conflict of interest, but given the fact that each of those overlapping committees involving, I think maybe the Safety Center Committee, for instance, there's different buckets of money used to fund that come from both directions. I don't think that necessarily arises to the level of a conflict, because they don't necessarily take an official action. It's recommendations that go before each organization's board. So I don't think there's anything that would prevent them from serving in that role, but I would certainly take their advice if they say that they maybe don't feel comfortable serving on one of those boards because of that overlap. It's probably smart to be mindful of that. I don't want them to feel uncomfortable in their day job either, if you will.
Right, fair enough. And I know what's the correct term, pecuniary, and what's the other one, as long as they don't have interest?
Pecuniary, statutorily, when we're voting on issues, if anybody wants to read an article in the paper today that talks about this, the statute starts with the basic premise that conflicts of interest before this board are created when the commissioner themselves has a direct pecuniary interest in their household associated with an action that they take, and it's got to affect the pocketbook. So when we're just talking about participation in an advisory board, for instance, there's nothing in that role that's going to directly affect their individual pocketbook. So any one of you can serve on those boards if you're not taking official action. The only exception that I can see with the board appointments is planning and zoning, because those matters are usually quasi-judicial by the time they get here. And because those have special overlapping conflict rules, that's why we have that special concern as it relates to Commissioner Conkling because of his day job.
Okay. Fair enough. And I will ask, I know Commissioner Conkling, you had voiced to me that you were would like to serve on the airport board, and you were very passionate about that. I would like to just ask you to talk about that, and I just want to make sure I understand where you're coming from.
Sure, and going back to what you said, I made it clear from the beginning that if there's appearance of a conflict, even though I'm not going to be financially enriched by anything, I'll recuse myself just to make sure there's no appearance. You know, even before I was sworn in, I was approached by some of the people that work at the airport, Roger Wilco. I spoke with Jake Hoffner, spent some time with him, took a tour, saw what they're doing. And I would just like to be involved because I'd like to dig deep into that situation and see if there's anything that can be improved, see if there's any way to increase the revenue. Maybe there isn't. I'm not advocating for one way or the other, but I just took a special interest in that for some reason. And so that's why I wanted to. And the other thing is I can't serve on the Mead because I'm not available Thursday nights.
Okay.
So,
Okay. And what I want to make sure I don't do is put commissioners on, and I did, put commissioners on things they're not able to attend. The meet is near and dear to my heart, as these all are. So I want to make sure that we have commissioners that can be there to serve on those boards. So what I'm hearing you say is that you would like to be on the airport commission, is that correct?
that is correct.
Okay. So what I would ask then, Commissioner Spencer, would you have an objection if we moved you from the airport board to the Mead?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Conkling, would you then have an objection if I moved you from the Mead to the airport board?
Not at all.
Okay. So I will make that change now. And then also, what we'll do is I'm going to move, again, I gave 5 to Commissioner Spencer, so we're going to move the HSC board to Commissioner Sarda, if you're okay with that? Yep. Okay. And then lastly, I will move the Yankton Transit Board from Commissioner Spencer then to Commissioner Benson. Is that okay? Okay. So those appointments will then take effect with those changes as there will be recorded.
Excuse me, Mayor, could you reread the changes just to make sure we have them?
You
down?
bet.
Thank you.
So we're going to switch Commissioner Conkling from the Mead then to the airport, and Commissioner Spencer from the Mead, from the airport to the Mead. HSC will come from Commissioner Spencer and then go to Commissioner Sarda. And Yankton Transit will be removed from Commissioner Spencer and then be moved to Commissioner Benson.
So it looks like everybody would have 3 at that point.
That's correct. And so again, I own that. I obviously made that mistake. I didn't mean to give someone 5. That was not nefarious. It was just a mistake. So sorry, Commissioner Spencer. You had 5 and now you've got 3. I think it's probably better that it's more even that way. So, okay.
Do I need to amend my motion since I made the motion to, for what was presented in the packet?
I think you probably do.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm not sure we need to do it as a vote on an amendment. I think what I'd recommend is you amend your motion and then have the second equally amended. Does that make sense, to try to speed this up?
Sure. So I would amend my motion to accept the changes as proposed by Mayor Villanueva.
Okay. And do I have a second on that? Yep.
Second.
Okay. Okay. Any commission discussion? Any further commission discussion?
I do have one comment.
Yes.
So it's always confusing what our role is on some of those committees, right? Most of them are not voting, correct? So if
Right.
there's any information that can come commissioners' way to make sure we're prepared and what our role is on that, and that would probably help.
We will talk with the staff, and if the staff is, if we have city staff involved, as a city board or commission, will reach out to those folks. And if it's, for example, United Way, we'll talk with the administrator of that organization and have them explain to the commissioners that are appointed.
Okay, thank you.
Good point, Commissioner Sarda. Okay. Any further commission discussion? Seeing none. Any public discussion? Seeing none. Roll call.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mosier.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, number 6, under new business, mayor's appointment of citizens to city advisory boards and commissions. Consideration of memorandum number 25-107, recommending approval of the mayor's appointments of citizens to various city advisory boards and commissions. What's your pleasure, commission?
Move to approve.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any commission discussion? Anyone from the public? Okay, roll call.
Mosher.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, number 7, the special events alcoholic beverage licensing from the center. Consideration of memorandum number 25-108, recommending that the city commission approve a special on-sale malt beverage retailer's license and a special on-sale wine retailer's license for one day, November 15th, 2025, from the center, 900 Whiting Drive, Yankton, South Dakota. The event will take place at the center, 900 Whiting Drive, Yankton, South Dakota. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve the license. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any commission discussion? Anyone from the public? Okay, roll call.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Abstain, conflict?
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mosher.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, number 8, special events alcoholic beverage and transient merchant licenses for the Rock and Rumble. Consideration of memorandum number 25-109, recommending the city commission approve the special on-sale liquor and transient merchant licenses to Rock and Rumble, Inc. for the Rock and Rumble event on July 26th, 2025. Commission, what's your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any commission discussion? Anyone from the public? Roll call.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mosher.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Number 9, peddler's license. Consideration of memorandum number 25-103, recommending the city commission approve a peddler's license to Fox Pest Control, 3510 West 41st Street, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 57110. Commission, what's your pleasure?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any commission discussion?
Mayor, if I could, just to clarify, in this case with these peddler license, this is one where we get the picture, right? We get the picture of the individual and we do put that out on a website or on our social media, just so the community is aware. Am I correct in stating that?
Ashley's ready to go with it. If approved tonight, we have the image and she'll post it.
That's a very good question. One of the things I want to say too under that, I'm excited for people to come to Yankton and potentially go door to door, but I just want to make sure also that we're being mindful of no high pressure sales as they do that as well. Okay, so I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any more commissioner discussion? Anyone from the public? Seeing none. Roll call.
Birch.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mosher.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, number 5, future business. Future business is a time for city commission to address the commission regarding matters not on the agenda. These items will not be deliberated by the governing body and will not be acted upon at this time. Items mentioned may be added to the future city commission meeting or work session for deliberation or action. Commissioners, anyone have anything? Okay, seeing no mics. Moving on. So now I will need a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss contractual and personnel matters under SDCL-1-25-2. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes into it. We're going to be, we'll go into executive session. Thank you.